Okay, I want to look at a few more examples of long division in other bases. Here we have a base 8 problem. You'll notice off to the right that I already have some handy facts filled out. Now, this is going to take you some time, but if you do this ahead of time, it'll save you time later. So notice I have 8 facts from the digits 0 through 7. The first two are obvious. 1 7 times 0 is 0, 1 7 times 1 is 1 7 or itself. But the other ones require some work. Like, for example, if you wanted to know that what 1 7 times 4 is, remember, this is in base 8, even though I didn't write the 8 there. All right, you need to use your multiplication chart because 4 times 7, you probably don't have that memorized in base 8. Of course, you know it's 28 in base 10, but in base 8, let's see, what would that be? 3, 4. So it would be 3, 4, and then you have 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 more is 7. So that's the work required just to get all of these facts. Once you have them, though, then you can proceed into the division problem. So 1 7 doesn't go into 1 or 1 6, but it goes into 1 6 3. A lot of times you can use that bottom fact 7 times. 7 times 1 7, we've already pre-calculated as 151 or 151. Don't say 50. Subtract, we get 1 2, bring down the next digit. Now we need a smaller fact. The largest one we can use is times 5 because that doesn't exceed 125. So we'll go 5 times, that's 113. When we subtract, we get 1 2, bring down the next digit, which is a 6. We're going to use the same fact again, 113. We get 3 1, bring down the last digit, and you can see that worked out perfectly to go in 6 times. And so our answer, quotient 7556, base 8, there is no remainder here at all. Okay, let's take a look at a second example in base 4. All right, I already have the handy facts here as well. Notice there's only 4 facts. The multiplication 0, 1, 2, 3. And really, I only had a little bit of work for the last 2, the first 2 being obvious again. All right, so 1, 2 doesn't go into 1 or 1, 1, but it does go into 1, 1, 0 3 times. So 3 times 1, 2 is 102. Subtract. Now, the subtraction in the previous problem was pretty straightforward, but here we have to do some borrowing, and we need to remember we're in base 4. I can't do 0 take away 2, so I got to borrow 1 here. This becomes a 1 0. So it's not 10 minus 2, but rather 1 0 minus 2. Counting backwards in base 4, that would be 3 2. Bring down the next 2. That's going to go in 1 time. Subtract, that's straightforward. Bring down the last digit. That works out perfectly to go in 3 times. And we have 313 base 4, remainder 0. All right, one last example for you to look at. This one's in base 5. It's a little bit bigger. And I have 5 facts off to the right-hand side. Took a few minutes to compute those ahead of time. And so let's just proceed through it. 3 0 doesn't go into 4, but it goes into 4 0 once. And when I subtract, I get 1 0. Bring down the next digit, I get 102. Now I can go still only times 1, because if I go times 2, that's bigger than 102 at 110. So it still only goes in 1 time. I have to subtract 3 0. And here you're going to want to be careful because this is 1 0 minus 3. Counting backwards in base 5, 1 0, 4, 3, 2. All right, so then now bring down the next digit, which is a 3. And we're looking for 3 0 into 2 2 3. That goes in 4 times. 3 0 times 4 is 220. Subtract, I get a 3. The next digit to bring down is a 1. And so 3 0 goes into 3 1 just 1 time. Bring down the next digit, it's a 0. Now notice this time 3 0 does not go into 1 0 because it's larger. I have to note that by putting a 0 there. It goes in 0 times, and then I just bring down that last digit. 3 0 goes into 102, again just once. And when I subtract, I've already did this subtraction problem before, I get 2 2. That means I have a remainder of 2 2. Now so there's my final answer. 1 1 4 1 0 1 is the quotient, remainder 2 2. Make sure that your remainder never exceeds your divisor. If that happens, you know you have a problem. So I hope these examples can help you along with the homework and learning a little bit more about long division and other bases.